Regular viewers will be more than familiar with a certain double act, frequently popping up as a jokey reference, as the ghosts of telly's bad old days. But we need to address the elephant in the room, an elephant comprised of 11 series and 10 specials.
But I have sped round here as fast as I can on my Fatmobile.
I've done everything I can to not sit through the actual shows of Little and Large, making videos about anything else, and even writing a novella inspired by the pair, if you're on my Patreon fiction tier. But I can't put it off any longer. It's time. We're looking at the first series, and though maybe we'll delve deeper eventually, I'm aware I don't have the best track record. When Bobby died, I felt like a bit of a shit, and Cannon and Ball could be genuinely good, whereas Sid and Eddie... After years of guest spots, in 1977, Eddie Large and supersonic Sid Little landed their own series, with the Little and Large telly show, which ran for 6 episodes on ITV. The following year, they were poached by the BBC as a replacement for Morecambe and Wise, who jumped the other way. In a golden age for double acts, none represented their stage names so cartoonishly as Little and Large. The big round face of Eddie, topped by a sweaty mop of curls, pie-built body stuffed into a creaking suit, only helped emphasise the lankiness of Sid, with limbs like broom handles and Coke bottle glasses magnifying his blank expressions. They were a perfect comic pairing, who you could have identified from shadows alone. Though they began their BBC careers with a special, first episode proper aired on Saturday 30th of September 1978. Every choice I've made over the course of my life has brought me to this moment. You too. Little and Large have a trademark bit, perfected in the working men's clubs. It's this routine which won Opportunity Knocks and got them here. You know the one. Sid tries to sing or tell a story, but Eddie keeps interrupting with impressions and gags. Also used by Cannon and Ball, it's a standard for the era's double acts, and on full display in the opener, which functions as a 5-minute encapsulation of an entire career, a best and worst of all at once.
Hops back in amazement! Hello, my little chickadee! Suffering succotash! Tweety pie!
From here, Eddie will batter Sid with bird puns.
I know who you are, you're the Incredible Hawk. George Seagull. Anna Neagle. Jasper Parrott. John Travolta. Canary Grant. Arthur Mallard.
And impressions.
I want to tell you a story.
Whatever girl this fits.
Now look, Pudgy. I want you to eat a packet of birdseed.
I want Hilda.
These are voices we'll hear many, many times over the next 6 episodes. Sid struggles with the script.
The story of Mother Goose it starts in this little village, you see.
Then Eddie walks on carrying an enormous wishbone.
Wrong girl in the ring. Tra-la-la-la. Wrong girl in the ring. Tra-la-la-la.
Who's that?
Wishbone M.
This is Little and Large. As becomes clear very quickly, this isn't simply a routine, it's the whole act. Microscopic variations on a single theme. Here's Sid again, interrupted by Eddie the Hunchback, shouting more impressions.
Bob, come on. He made me deaf, you know. Hey, come and take a look at this, boo-boo.
The very next skit's titled Supersonic Sings Sinatra, with Sid at a bar in a fedora, mic in hand. Reckon he'll get to do his song this time, boys and girls?
It's 3:15. There's no one in the place except you and me. So set him up, Joe.
Grasshopper!
Sid'll be stood or sat in front of something, a bar, wall or hedge, while Eddie pops up in different wigs, like old arcade games where every level's the same except this time it's a sewer instead of a street.
I was driving down road in my tractor. How's about, guys and gals? How's about? How's about?
On and on it goes, but it's almost worth it for this.
Now stop. There's a good boy, sweet viewer. No, I'm not telling you how I do it.
After snatching the mic off him altogether, there's a madcap run through characters, with seemingly every celebrity on Earth.
I feel kind of big.
Johnny Mathis, Dean Martin, hey, Louis Armstrong, Tony Bennett, Perry Como, Des O'Connor, Jack Jones, Humphrey Bogart, James Cagney. Okay, make it one for my baby.
In that first half-hour episode, Eddie impersonates 59 different people, and on paper you might be wowed by the sheer volume. But though Eddie Large would never claim to be a great mimic, let's make something very clear. Most of his impressions are absolutely fucking dreadful. I mean, who can't do a recognisable David Bellamy?
Hello, I'm David Bellamy, expert on botany.
Eddie Large, that's who. And understandably, he often relies on the old fallback.
Hi, Kerry Packer here.
My name's Cannon, Frank Cannon.
Hi, fans, my name is Cliff.
Sometimes just the name isn't enough.
Hi, I'm Carl Malden from the streets of San Francisco. I am the man from Atlantis, and I solve the mysteries of sea.
If you're thinking, any random bloke off the street could do better than Eddie, one section accidentally puts that to the test.
Look into my eyes, Kermit.
Yes, Miss Piggy?
Civilians literally trusted to do more than Sid Little on his own show.
I'd like to meet Mr. Rigsby. Hello, Mr. Rigsby. Hello. You going to give us a song, Rigsby? How are you, Tommy?
All right, thanks.
Good lad.
Just like that.
They should have teamed Eddie with a different member of the public every week, like the revolving hosts on Have I Got News For You.
I wish it was taller.
A lot's been made of Sid Little's legendary ineptness,
Supersonic is a moron.
especially by me, but Sid's strength as a performer is in knowing his role, which is to stand next to Eddie Large as he puts on a cowboy hat and says, "I'm John Wayne." Though there's a loose, pissing about feel, it's Sid who blows his lines most frequently, relying on Eddie to improvise things back on track. In one bit, Eddie teases him for coming in too early.
Oh, yes, well, you two can be enormously enormous if you take hundreds of vitamin pills, only don't be like Supersonic, take them out of the boxes first.
I did take them out of the
You
boxes.
nearly killed my laugh then. You did what?
Then Sid spoonerizes a line.
You've ruined it now, haven't you? I was trying to make everybody think I was big and strong, because I'm fed up of being thinny and skin.
Thinny and skin?
Skin and...
As the years progress and it becomes a proper sketch show, he'll be given much more to do, and they do hang a hat on the Sid does nothing format.
I'm going to sing the song, and you're going to do the impression.
You know I can't do impressions.
Of course you can, Malcolm.
He even gets his own back in the first episode's final song. Eddie's ramrodding is broken up by weekly guest artists, like Shawaddy Waddy, the Four Tops and the Drifters, plus a regular spot for sexy dance troupe Jeffrey Richards' Birds of a Feather. Very occasionally we break from the studio for proper sketches on location, which feels like being afforded yard time when you've been sat on death row. Crossroads Street features Eddie as various soap characters, and this rather striking visual.
Sandy Richardson, the determined driving force behind the staff of the motel.
The sheer cheapness of the way they do this floating gag.
Also, Len Fairclough giving the police a well-deserved rise.
But there's only a handful. Everything a vehicle for Eddie to machine gun us to shreds with very similar voices. Literal box of wigs and funny glasses to dip into like a torturer caressing a glinting array of pliers. Characters rarely last longer than a line, and as he flits between hats, it's like watching a man with 1,000 different personalities all fighting for control.
I'm a secret lemonade drink. Oh, yeah.
When I hear someone saying ass instead of arse,
Call yourself an Englishman, man.
The Eric Morley? No, that's too expensive to fire.
Morley! Morley!
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Sid's gonna do some Shakespeare.
I would like to do that famous speech from Henry V. Thank you.
A horse! A horse! My kingdom for a horse!
Would you believe it? Eddie keeps butting in. He's putting a fez on a skull to do Tommy Cooper, then Eric Morecambe, Cliff Richard III, Miss Piggy, where the mask doesn't fit over his head.
Hey, pig spender, spend a little time with me.
Kojak again, Henry Cooper, Les Dawson. Soon, Sid's got a bow in his hair, doing this.
On the good ship, while waiting.
And you're praying for Eddie to come out. But then he does, and you're praying for death instead.
Hey! What's up, Doc?
Well, I haven't got much of a part in this film, son.
Sporadically, they venture into visual gags which are just as CBBC as the one-liners. Sid's head disappearing in a haircutting machine. Eddie climbing an 8-foot-tall fly spray to render the audience unconscious. A massive dog lead stretching into the wings.
What do you call him?
Sir.
Where does he sleep?
Anywhere he likes.
Only a liar would deny that this is amusing, though.
Stop it! Behave yourself! Stop it! Now behave!
Nice
Now sit,
doggy.
there's a good boy, there's a good boy.
Nice
That's
doggy.
it. Oh no, stop it!
Nice
Behave.
I did laugh, and I won't pretend I don't occasionally get blindsided by a funny line or surprising reveal, like Eddie conducting the Young Musicians of the Year, which pans to a load of prams with tubas and trumpets sticking out, and in a grand finale with dueling guitars. Eddie's is on an elastic strap, which is a genuinely hilarious visual.
I've been made blue. I've been lied to. When will I belong?
My favourite joke of the series involves his Columbo.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
I was just talking.
Oh, good, then I'm not. By the way, my wife thinks you're terrific.
Oh, is she a fan?
No, she's stupid.
Although, like all the impressions, after the first line it's just Eddie's own voice.
Do you know something that puzzles me about your television programs over here?
What?
Well, I've been watching Crossroads and Coronation Street, and being a newcomer, I can't tell which character's which.
But it's mostly all the exact same thing, over and over again. Sid in an art gallery, Eddie doing celebrities as paintings.
Look at the muck on here. What a guy a day.
Sid in a pith hat at the zoo, Eddie doing celebrities as animals.
Okay, Kuchiku, you're under arrest for trespassing on my precinct.
Sid in a bath, Eddie doing celebrities as fish.
Hey, who loves you, Octopussycat?
Sid as a fairy sat on a mushroom, Eddie doing celebrities as dwarves.
Now, being a dwarf...
I'm grumpy.
I'm not as daft as I look.
At this point I've perhaps gotten too complacent. Yeah, Sid's addressing the lay gemmen. Eddie'll come out in a costume, I get it. I know everything.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Special delivery! Oh, Black Belly, family.
Well, what have we got on the menu today?
It's that classic blend of childish and crude, with many of Eddie's jokes focusing on great big wobbly jugs.
Shake, rattle, and roll. I said shake, rattle, and roll. I said shake, rattle, and roll. Shake, rattle, and roll.
When was that written?
The day after the girls burned the bras.
Even his Benny from Crossroads shows up at least once a week to brag about nobbing Miss Diane.
Money she have none, but Gaffer, he give me £2, so I give her 1.
These are the kind of rotten gags you'd hear on the playground in juniors, and you can imagine some third year in an unwashed Parker singing this at you before scuttling off.
Maid Marian said, she said sobbing, 9 months gone and no sign of Robin. Oh.
I half expect him to ask Sid if he's ever touched a BMW before dead-legging him into eating a urinal cake.
Miss Jones came into my room last night in a see-through negligee, wonderful sight.
Though David Renwick and Eddie Braben get listed as writers, with Satan going uncredited, it's a shocker not to see the boy from your class who turned his eyelids inside out on there too. Truly, the Little and Large show contains some of the smelliest, low-grade jokes ever spoken out loud. Regard Eddie dressed as a pirate, hopping on with a crutch under the wrong arm because...
Oh well, I'm an Irish pirate. Hey, that I am.
And with a parrot on his shoulder named Starsky.
We always go round together, Starsky and Crutch.
He's also pulling a plank of wood on a dog lead. You figure it out. As you can see, picking a worst joke is an impossible task, but I think I've landed on a bottom 5. Number 5.
Hey, another impression. A plunk rocker. Plunk rocker.
At 4, what the willy are you talking about?
Hi, I'm Cliff. I've just invented a new version of the rumba with my hairdresser. It's called the Rum Barber.
Number 3, let's bring in some pun control.
Tell them about that film you were in, about that very tall Welshman.
What Welshman?
The Longest Die. And he was in the sequel with Hugh Brinner.
What sequel?
The King and I.
Number 2,
I want to ask you a question, young man.
What?
What's the nearest thing to silver?
I don't know.
The Lone Ranger's body.
and the worst joke of Little and Large Series 1.
By the way, did you know that when Farrah Fawcett Majors loses all her teeth, she's going to become known as Farrah False Set Majors? Surely we're pleased, don't you think?
This is a good time to inform you that the show had 15 million viewers at its peak. Still, at least they understand the classics.
Why did Emmanuel make you go deaf?
Pardon?
Why did Emmanuel make you go deaf?
About 8:30.
And the old, pretending a word sounds like it means pooing.
I'm going to do a soliloquy.
I've told you not to have curry before the show. Anyway, what do you know about ballet?
I can pirouette.
You shouldn't eat Chinese food.
The most avant-garde moment of the series sees Sid as a policeman and Eddie crawling around on the floor as a lost dog, who we can understand but Sid can't.
I'm lost, you see. What happened was...
Stop barking!
But I'm a lost little doggy and I'm starving.
I wish people would look after the dogs better.
It's an interesting inclusion, considering a story in Sid's autobiography. A dog followed his brother home, so they took her in, calling her Queenie and making her part of the family. Then young Sid was tasked with reporting Queenie to the police station in case anyone was looking for her. But too nervous to speak to a policeman, Sid just gave him the dog and scarpered. His parents told him to go and bring her home, but he put it off until the next day, and when he went to collect her, he was informed she'd been put down. Recalling the incident in 1999, he said, "If only I'd asked on that first visit if I could have kept her. This might never have happened. The memory of that whole incident still hurts today."
Hey, listen, I'll even become a police dog. I'd make a smashing police dog. Now then, what's going on here then?
Though it seems like the most obvious thing they could do, there's just one Stan and Ollie.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a weird routine based around a magic cabinet, building to a parody of The Fly, all just an unbelievably convoluted contrivance for the obviously thought-up first punchline.
Well, here's another fine mouse you've got me into.
This kind of agonised arm's length reaching to a punchline is typical. In episode 6, Sid accuses Eddie of being unromantic.
I said you haven't got a heart.
No one has.
Everybody's got one except...
No, I read it in the paper today. You know, from 12 o'clock tomorrow, your heart has got to become known as a pump. Honestly. It's true that, under the Trade Description Act, it's going to be called a pump because that describes it. Seriously.
What?
I left me pump in San Francisco.
Anyone who had a pump?
Don't go breaking my pump. I won't go breaking your pump.
But it's not all bad. I mean, they are a well-honed double act. And even with the rancid material, it's hard not to get swept up in how much fun they're having. Eddie's face lights up on every joke, chubby cheeks curling up into his ears, eyes flitting about the studio to catch people's reactions. And like Cannon and Ball, they're battling through corpses all the way.
Me. Me live with goat herd. Excuse me, miss.
Where have you been, miss? Oh, 15 men on Cyril Smith's chest. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. 12 down his shirt and 3 up his vest. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum.
Yeah, Sid mucks up a lot.
As I was saying, some of the animals aren't all wild. A lot of them aren't wild. Some are very tame.
But Eddie always pulls him through.
What's that?
My last year's birthday cake.
You laugh. Okay. He seems like a nice boy. Keep away from the merchandise.
And look at the way Eddie walks into frame. A born light entertainer. Not that it makes up for stuff like this.
Do you know what? He thinks Pot Black's a cookery programme for cannibals.
Esmeralda! Give me water, Esmeralda!
Grimdale! Mr. Grimdale! Stop it, Emu! Leave him alone! Leave him! Stop it! Leave him alone! Stop it!
Series 1's final episode gives us lyrics to the theme tune. They are right, there was no yawning, and the whole teetering structure is almost propped up by its endearing naffness. Whether that's still the case after another 60-odd episodes, maybe I'll find out. And so will you.
Hey, the Funds wants a guitar.
Hey, sit on it, Cunningham.
Don't forget to watch me next week.
The big